In this video, I'll be focusing on Genesis chapter 1, verse 16. It says, God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. Alright, so I want to first of all remind you that Genesis chapter 1 is basically talking about the creation project, or let me say that the God's construction project, God's big idea of building the earth. And at the same time, when I say building the earth, I'm not talking about the earth per se. What God was trying to build was a political structure for the earth. Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 says that the earth was formless and at the same time it was void. And like I said in my other video, that is my second episode of this Genesis chapter 1 series. I said formless mean there was no political structure on earth, and at the same time empty means there was nobody on earth to take over the administration of the earth, to keep the earth running. So God had to come in and take over and take over. So yeah, and at the same time, we can't talk about this Genesis chapter 1 verse 16 without talking about light and darkness. In verse 5 of Genesis chapter 1, God called light day and he called darkness night. And at the same time, in verse 16, it says that God created two great lights, one to govern the day and the other to govern the night. Now, I want you to look at this like, just like I said in my other videos, that my approach to this Bible is not from a theological perspective, but rather a political, a philosophical, a psychological, at the same time, a spiritual perspective. But most especially, I believe that the Bible is all about politics, and God himself is the greatest politician. We cannot talk about politics and without talking about administration. What verse 16 is actually talking about is administration itself. God willingly spent his time on the separation of day, of light and darkness. And how did he do that? He did that by separating light from darkness. And for him to be able to have authority, that is, to put them under his control, he had to call one day and other one he called night. So now, beside that, God is a very, like the way I see God sometimes, it can be very, very busy a lot of times, very, very busy. And it would be like, so for God to put the earth running on autopilot, so he had to create two great lights, one to govern the day, and at the same time, the other one to govern the night. Meaning that one of the job of the sun is to administer the day and the moon is to administer the night. And when we look at it itself, the sun has the time it comes out in the morning at the same time, and at the same time the moon has the time it comes out in the night. And why is it like that? Because of the policy God gave. And when I say policy, what we call policy in modern politics is what God calls commands in the Bible. And this brings me to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the video you just watched right now. And I would love to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And if you have not watched my other videos from Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 up to verse 15, you've missed a lot. Please go back now and watch it so that you can understand better. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about Genesis chapter 1, verse 17, and I hope to see you there.